G'day everyone, Nick here from CPAP Reviews. Welcome to part 2 of my series on the new Luna G3, where today I'm going to be showing you how to change the clinical settings, which are those settings like changing your pressure and things like that, which are really important, changing the mode of the machine from CPAP to automatic. So I'll be going through that in detail, so let's jump straight to it, okay? Cheers. Okay, so in order to get into the clinical settings, each machine has a little trick. And this trick is to rotate the dial to settings, and then you hold in the click dial and the home button simultaneously. Keep holding them in for about 5 seconds, and then boom, we're in. So on the top here, you can see 3 tabs: therapy, comfort, and maintenance. And we can rotate between the 3 of them. To access a sub menu, we just click it in, and now we can go between the different clinical settings, and I'll run through them with you now. So the top one's mode, so the operating mode of the machine. If we click in the click dial, you can see we can change it between auto CPAP and CPAP, or fixed mode. Most people will have it in automatic mode, which means the machine will monitor your breathing through the night and adjust the pressure accordingly between the minimum auto or the min APAP and the max auto, max APAP. So the machine's determining the pressure every minute of every night. If we switch to fixed mode, it means we're setting the pressure. The machine is just going to do what we tell it to do. It's fixed. So if we click fixed, we can set then our treatment pressure, which is whatever. It'll just stay at that level all night. So 7, it's currently set to. Some people prefer that, but majority of my patients and clients these days are on automatic mode. So we'll leave it in auto. Initial P is the initial pressure or the starting pressure. So as it stands, it's at 4. This means the machine will start at 4, and over whatever the ramp period is, whatever the ramp time is, so the ramp time's 30 minutes, it will gradually increase from 4 to 7 over that ramp time, over 30 minutes. Once that 30 minutes is up, the machine will then monitor your breathing and adjust the pressure between the min and the max. So currently set 7 and 13. We can change these values. So it's quite a narrow range, 7 and 13. I'm just moving that down to 5, and then I might increase this a little bit to 15. So I've just increased the range there. If you're finding that the pressure's getting too high over nighttime and it keeps waking you up and it's causing your mask to leak and you're having a horrible time, we can decrease this max auto. So this is what we call capping the pressure, which means the machine won't be able to go above whatever level we set that at. The downside of this is that if we cap it too low, the machine won't be able to effectively control our sleep apnea because it might want to go higher than that, but it can't. So we just need to keep a little eye on our sleep apnea data, in particular our AHI, apnea hypopnea index, which is how many times per hour we're having sleep apnea events. If it's getting too high, if it's getting above 10, you've probably capped this level too low. You might have to increase it a bit. Okay, but I'll keep going. Smart A or Smart Auto looks at the data from the last 5 nights, and it uses that as a reference as to where to start the therapy. I would always recommend starting with that off. However, if you are struggling to get your apnea-hypopnea index down, you might want to switch that on. Sensitivity, that's the sensitivity of the auto algorithm, so how the machine actually determines how sensitive it is to your sleep apnea events. If you go too high, if you go up to 5, I think it changes the pressure too frequently and it's not very smooth, so you're probably going to notice it a lot more. I think the best to keep it between 3 and 4. If you go too low, you're probably not going to get fast enough action with the CPAP therapy to treat your apnea. And leak alert means that if you turn that on, it will beep at you if you've got too much leak with your mask. So if it's not tight enough or you've taken it off during the night, the machine will start beeping at you. I'd leave that off, to be honest. If we click home now, it'll take us back so we can move between these 3 tabs, and I'll rotate across to comfort. Here we can set the max ramp time. I think it's 45 is the max it can go up to. Oh, it goes more. So you can have a 60-minute ramp with this one. Res Lex is the pressure relief function. So we can turn this It should be on patient, hopefully, when you get it. But if it's not, switch it to patient, which means that you can determine it just from the normal settings. You don't have to go in the clinical settings every time you want to change that. But it's pressure relief. So when you're breathing out, the machine will reduce the pressure between a value. So the more you go up, if we go to 3, we're getting more pressure relief. The machine's going to drop that pressure as we're breathing out to make it easier for us to breathe against that pressure. Just have a play with this. See, most people will probably have it on 3. They probably like it, dropping the pressure. But if you're an experienced user, you probably don't need it. And you might even find that drop in the pressure throws your breathing a little bit. So just have a play with the different numbers here, 1, 2, and 3, and see which one you find most comfortable. I'm going to leave this on patient for now. Auto on and auto off, pretty self-explanatory. Auto on means you can put your mask on, start breathing, and you don't even have to touch the buttons. The machine will just kick on and start delivering pressure. Same with auto off. Take your mask off. The machine will stop. And that's the bottom of that one. And then home. And then we've got maintenance, which is, shows how many hours you've been using it for. You can run a mask test if you want, which will run the machine between different pressures to make sure that your mask is sealing well. You can restore defaults if you want to just restore the machine back to a factory setting, erase data, and do some other bits and pieces. But you don't have to stuff around too much in that. So we'll just press home and then home again to go back to the main screen, and we're good to go. And then it'll show us just the basics here. So we've got our min, our max, and the reslex currently off. So if I want to change that reslex, I just go to settings, and then I can just rotate this down to reslex here, click it in, and now I can change that. 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'll put it at 3. And away we go, back to home. Cool. So this machine here, I'll just check what the ramp time is there. We got ramp. Ramp time is currently 10 minutes. So let's put that up to say 30 minutes. So as it stands, this machine had an initial pressure of 4 from the clinical settings. So over 30 minutes, it will go from 4 to 5, which is the min value. And then once that 30 minutes is up, it will then adjust the therapy between 5 and 12 for the rest of the night with quite a good amount of pressure relief as we're breathing. I hope that's helpful to you. What we can do, I'll just go into this because it's pretty cool. What we can do is if we go to report here and we go to usage summary, click that in, we can rotate the dial to 7 days. So just rotate the click dial to 7 days because you want to use an average the last 7 days. You can use this value here, the P95, as a guide for your max auto limit of where to cap the pressure. Okay, because P95 means in order to control 95% of your sleep apnea, you need that value or less. So an example of 10, P95 of 10, in order to control 95% of your sleep apnea, you need a pressure of 10 or less. So if we set our max at 10, we know we're controlling 95% of our sleep apnea. Hope that helps. But yeah, that's it. It's good to be able to change these values because especially if you're finding the pressure's too high, that's the main thing. If you're finding the pressure's too high, it's causing you to wake up and get really disturbed sleep, you need to cap that max, all right? Also, if you're finding it hard to breathe in the beginning, you're feeling suffocating, you might want to increase that value because it means you're going to be getting more air through the mask. So you can play around with these settings. It's not going to hurt you. Find what's comfortable, but then just use your report to check your apnea-hypopnea index. Always use 7 days, so an average of 7 days or more. Never just use 1 day. You can check your apnea-hypopnea index. You want that ideally less than 5, but less than 10 is still fine. And then you can also check your P95 as well. Cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel just by clicking the link that'll probably pop up in 5 seconds. And give us a thumbs up, show your support if you enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.